So the Feels Like guy says it's -5 out, and it feels like he's right. What a beautiful day. Man, it feels like forever since I've been on a camping trip, or at least taking you with me. So today is the day. We are heading up north. It is mid-February here in Wisconsin. Unseasonably warm. It's still going to be probably in the single digits, I'm thinking. But I wanted to take this trip, share some winter camping tips, tricks, things that have been successful for us. All right, so let's jump in the Jeep and let's get rolling. Over the years, I have grown to love winter camping, potentially more than summer camping. Some of you may think I'm nuts, but in short, the benefits of winter camping are less crowds, the stillness of nature, the sounds of snow crunching under your feet, and most important, no bugs. Yes, it can be uncomfortable, yes, it can be dangerous, but with proper gear and preparation, it can be an amazing experience. It is so windy. And it doesn't help that I've got a high-profile Jeep with a tent strapped to the top, but just super windy. Okay, so today I've got two main objectives. One, to talk through winter camping, talk through some of the systems that we have in place, or our system that has made winter camping successful. And two, selfishly, just to relax. Just get a night in the woods and just relax. I don't know if I said it already, but this is going to be a solo trip. It is going to be a little bit colder, but honestly, super simple. Start a little fire, maybe go for a little hike. 100% intentions is just to relax and enjoy some winter camping. So I'm going to keep wrestling the wind, or the Jeep in the wind, and we'll check in at camp. I should be able to get in there before dark. So I'll be able to check in, we maybe share the setup of camp and kind of go from there. But really looking forward to this. I am very excited to finally get out and take you along with me. So let's get after it. It feels like it has been far too long since I've been on a camping trip. Often camping can take a back seat when it comes to life priorities, but not this weekend. This weekend I'm heading north to Crystal Lake Campground, which is one of the few Wisconsin state campgrounds open in the winter. There is something special about driving north on Highway 39, and something amazing happens when the highway turns from 4 lanes to 2. I feel less rushed, less stress. The traffic thins and my mind moves to a more relaxed state, and my thoughts drift as I watch the snow-covered trees fly by. Oddly, in this state, time goes by fast, and before long, I was arriving at camp. Alright, so a couple updates. Just got to camp like a couple minutes before 4. First tip, it's Friday, winter camping. You can only get firewood from like the visitor center, and the visitor center closes at 4, or on this particular day anyways. So I literally just made it. Was able to get a bunch of bundles of wood because they're closed tomorrow. Again, I don't know if that's consistent throughout the season, like specifically winter and this weekend. I got really lucky. Second update, it's 14 degrees and the wind is like basically coming right off the ice, or over the water, over the ice, into camp. There is some tree line there. I'm really debating on where I set up the tent. So once I figure out where I'm going to put the Jeep, I'm going to layer up and get a fire started, and honestly just probably chill out around camp for the first little bit here. It's still pretty early. Probably cook dinner a little bit later, but again, very chill night here at camp. So I just don't know where I'm gonna park. Any suggestions? Comment down below. I have to admit, the wind makes it pretty cold. It's probably like 12 degrees, and then with wind chill, I'm not too sure. It's definitely 10-15 mile per hour wind gusts that are coming at my back across the ice. So I tucked the Jeep here, and then I'm probably gonna set up, the Jeep is set up so where I get into the iCamper on this side, so away from the wind. Might be a little obvious. And I also have the fire ring right here, kind of close to the Jeep. I'll keep the fire low, but it'll protect me from the wind a little bit, so I can feel some of the warmth from the fire. So first issue with winter camping is my camera batteries. It does not like to be cold, so I cycle through a lot of batteries, and hopefully I'll be able to continue to share the story. Tip number 2, good layers. I'm wearing weather wool and some base smart wool gear, and then my Carhartt overhauls. They've been with me for a long time. I've had these for many years, and they're just a good working camping wax canvas material, so they're somewhat resistant and durable. So anyways, that's my layers. But let's get a fire going so I can stay warm and not die. That's a good goal for tonight. Tip number 2, and I just realized that I'm probably going to lose track of what tip number I'm saying, so I'll probably stop with the numbers. But the other trick is to stay the appropriate warm. Stay warm. I know, okay, I know it's a bad tip, but there's more to that, right? The idea is that don't allow your body to get cold. So if you start feeling your toes or your hands or your core start getting a little cold, get active, right? Go for a little hike, maybe do some jumping jacks, just something to get your blood going. Start a fire, tend the fire, get close to heat. Again, don't let your body get cold, because it's really hard to get warm again. And then on the flip side, you don't want to get too hot, where you're starting to sweat, or then, you start cooling down and then you have all this moisture. Again, you got to kind of thread the needle with keeping your body warm. Not too hot, not too cold. I know, a lot of you probably already know that, but I think it's important to say. You see, is my mustache freezing up? I feel like my mustache is freezing up. Alright, my camera's died like at least 3 times. So this is a sweet little setup that my good friend Nate with Go Go Good Ones, I'll put a link to their Instagram. I think you should give them a follow. Anyways, it's just a regular step that they make for tires, and you just cut a hole out of the bottom so you can set your diesel heater up on top of that. Honestly, I think it's genius, but this is the first time that I'm running it, and I'll see how it goes. But right now, first impressions, I think it's pretty awesome. I'll set up the rest of the tent stuff later Maybe I should just get it done. Should I just get it done? Alright, so I'm going to try to fill this video with tips. So on the iCamper 3.0, they have awnings that are on the side and then the main awning up front. The main awning up front has longer, what do they call these things? Like tension rods? Tent poles? Anyways, there's the longer ones. So sometimes when you're setting up at night and it's like all in one bag, you don't know which one is what. So I actually put black tape on the two longer ones so I can quickly identify what ones go on this main awning, because frankly that main awning is the one that I typically set up. So I think I want to move to like glow-in-the-dark tape or something like that. But the black tape works good because you can actually feel it too at night. So anyways, little tip. Alright, so another thing I like to do is I use 550 cord to string through the ducting of the diesel heater. So I think I got these, what are these called? I don't know, particle? Honestly, I think I got them at maybe a Home Depot or something like that. I can't remember. Anyways, I like to do that. And then the other thing I like to do is, you saw where I put the diesel heater. I also like to put the ducting through this side awning just so it holds up there, so like when you're unzipping and zipping the main compartment of the tent, that this stays in there. And I just duct everything through the main one, honestly, just because that's where the ladder is. It's an easier setup, so that's what I like to do. All right, so the last step is honestly just air up the mattresses. I use the iCamper, whatever the thing is called, but I just have a little air compressor up there and air out the mattress. So I'll show you that next. All right, so I switched to the iPhone, just get a little bit better angle. So one thing I mentioned, I have the iCamper inflatable mattresses. They did okay. I don't mind them. I would prefer a foam mattress that fits in here, but this does okay. So the other thing is I ran power up from my Jeep up through the power port and made this little box with a couple ports from Blue Sea. So I have a 12-volt connector, 2 USB, and a reader to tell me how much my house battery is at, and then an on-off switch. So I leave this up here, I connect to the lights. I also have the little pump, 12-volt pump that pumps up the air mattresses. So another common question is how much bedding you can fit in the iCamper. So with the deflatable mattresses, I'm able to fit I think this is a Trapper Zero from Cabela's, pretty thick, just a down blanket, a pillow, and then that kind of stuff. And I shove it in that back third where there's the most space, and it barely fits, but it does fit. All right, not gonna lie, I need to switch to the GoPro. My big camera is not liking this cold weather. I don't know if any of you camera gurus are out there, but I have a Canon R6. I keep getting an error 7, I think it is, but it only has happened when it's super cold out. So I think it has something to do with cold batteries. I try to keep them warm, but it's just too much filming. So anyways, I'm going to keep the fire going. I got the fan out. If you watched my gear video, oh gosh. If you watched my gear video, I like to use this to, prime example, to keep the fire going. Let's turn this bad boy on. It just does not, especially when it's cold. The wind's dying down, which is nice, but look at that. All right, so I'm going to grab the stove out. Honestly, I'm just going to heat up some water and do one of those peak meals. They're up here. Actually, that sounds really good. I'm going to do this home style chicken and rice. So I'm going to heat this up, go sit next to the fire. I am definitely disappointed about my big camera not working. I had a whole thought about sitting next to the fire and talking through winter camping with you and all of that. A little hack, I put this little sponge in on top of this grate, because if you don't, seriously, my GoPro just like shut down. So I was in the middle of saying, like, I put this on here so it doesn't rattle, and the thing shut down. I'm having the GoPro now just shut down. Like, so many issues with cameras. So I'm to the iPhone. I seriously am probably not gonna be able to film too much. I didn't think it was that cold, but obviously electronics are not happy right now. So I changed my mind. I'm gonna do this sweet pork and rice. Warm up some water, cook this, eat this, go sit next to the fire, warm all my camera gear up, and hopefully check in with you tomorrow. Otherwise, I'm out of luck. I think I'm being attacked. All right, now we wait. I'm so frustrated that I'm down on the iPhone. So as I wait for my meal to warm up, just another thought that when you do winter camping, I always try to pack up the like the kitchen or the gear. I'm always putting gear back where it belongs, because I know it sounds negative, but if I feel like I need to bail and get out of here, you don't want to be dealing with all of the extra stuff, like putting things away and chairs away and all of it, right? So outside of the tent, right, that I have to pull down, the Jeep is ready to go. So ready to start and get out of here. And you always have the backup plan of your vehicle, warming your body up and stuff like that. So there's a lot of options there, but just kind of packing your stuff, keeping your camp clean, I think is another good thing to anytime, but specifically during winter camping. So, all right. So bummed about the phone. You're just going to get a lot of this. So I understand if you want to click off now. So the Feels Like guy says it's -5 out, and it feels like he's right. It's pretty cold, but I'm staying warm next to the fire. It's 7 o'clock. It's dark out obviously already, but we got like a half moon up there, and it's just an awesome amount of light. So it's lighting up the trees and putting shadows on the snow. Just a really peaceful night. So really cool. But I'll probably end up calling it an early night. Stay next to the fire here for another hour or two, and then crawl up in the tent. Hopefully the diesel heater works. Otherwise, it's going to be a pretty cold night. All right, so I am all tucked in for the night. Got my Trapper 0 degree bag, and the diesel heater is running. It's warmed up in here pretty good, but I don't know if you can hear that, but there's like a slight ticking that's involved with the diesel heater. It's the pump, and depending on how sensitive you are to that stuff, it drives me bonkers. But I'll probably end up turning the heater off, and then it's supposed to get down to like -9 tonight. So if I get cold, I'll try to turn it back on, but I'll probably try to just go tonight without a heating source. Maybe kick it on in the morning just to warm everything up before I get out in the freezing cold. But it's pretty early yet. It's probably like 8:30, but I'm just going to tuck in for the night, kind of just sit here and chill out, and then hopefully get a good night's sleep and not freeze to death. So we'll see. All right, I hope this works. My camera continues to not like the cold, so I'm going to try to make this pretty quick. I literally have the diesel heater tube running to my camera. There's got to be something else going on. Okay, so last night it was cold. This morning, definitely cold. Let me tell you how I use the diesel heater. I start up at night, and I let the tent warm up for maybe an hour or two while I'm in there, get my body all set, and then I turn it off. And then when I wake up in the morning, I turn it on again to warm my body up, and I also use it to help kind of dry out some of the condensation that happens within the tent. And the reason I do this is because I want to be able to manage without the diesel heater. So if this thing failed in the middle of the night and I didn't have the appropriate sleeping gear, I'd be out of luck. So I use it as kind of a helping hand, the ability to just warm my body, just give myself, kind of give myself a fresh start. I think it's important that you have the proper sleeping gear and you're prepared to sleep in cold weather, not dependent on a heating source. They can be a savior, and they're definitely a game changer in the overlanding and camping community, but I'm just so nervous about them putting people in a spot where they're not prepared if they fail. There's just so many things that can go wrong with these. There's a power source, there's the fuel consumption, there's fuel pumps, exhaust malfunctions. There's just so many things that have failed on these, and you just have to be prepared to have a backup plan. One more thing. Now, since my camera's not doing so hot with the cold here, one of my other things I was planning on doing is making some coffee and just talking about water storage. Water and keeping it from freezing is another huge battle. So typically I'll leave the water within the Jeep, and that generally stays relatively warm. And then just having a double-walled stainless steel or something that you can kind of keep insulated from the elements. Keeps your water from not freezing up, and that is very important for coffee. So instead of doing the coffee montage like I planned, I think I'm going to end the video here. Thanks for joining. I hope you picked up on some tips. Make sure you drop a comment down below on some things that you have found success with in winter camping, or maybe something that you learned by watching this video. Thanks as always for watching. Hit that thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching Fries on the Side, where adventure is served.